إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We learned that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came to Medina, we learned the very first piece of advice or the very first khutbah that he gave when he came to Medina. And it is reported by the famous companion Abdullah ibn Salam. And Abdullah ibn Salam was the chief rabbi of Medina. He wasn't a Muslim at the time. And he had heard that the Prophet ﷺ is coming to Medina. And so he was eagerly looking to see the arrival of the Prophet ﷺ. So he was the rabbi, he wasn't even Muslim at the time. And he said, I was of the first batch who welcomed the Prophet ﷺ when he arrived in Medina. And I heard him say his first words. And I looked upon him and he said, Abdullah ibn Salam said, that I realized that this person, his face is not the face of a liar. His face is not the face of a liar. And so he converted to Islam, even though he was the rabbi of Medina, simply by gazing at the face of the Prophet ﷺ. And he realized that this human being in front of me is not a liar. And subhanAllah, even before we get to the hadith, our Prophet ﷺ, even his presence was da'wah. Even his appearance was da'wah. Even his demeanor, his akhlaq, his persona, him being there was da'wah. Who can compare to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So he said, I heard him say his first words. And what were they? Ayyuhan nas, O mankind. Ayyuhan nas. The Prophet ﷺ did not say, O Muslims. When he came to Medina, Medina was maybe, we estimate, 20% Muslim. Within a year, it would be 80%. After the Battle of Badr, everybody converted outwardly and the hypocrites pretended to convert, and you had some Jewish people who did not convert. So when he came to Medina, 20% were Muslim. And he is addressing all 100% of the city. Because the da'wah of Islam is not only for the people who come to the masjid. Our lectures should not only be for those who come for Jum'ah and Fajr. He's not addressing only his believers. He's addressing all of mankind. Ayyuhan nas, O people. And he gave the people of Medina 4 pieces of advice. And these 4 pieces, we should think about them as we live in these lands. And we should ask ourselves, how much have we lived up to this prophetic advice, which even though it was given when he came to Medina, it is just as relevant 1,440 years later. He said 4 things. Abshu salam, wa at'imu at-ta'am, wa silu al-arham, wa sallu bil-layli wa nasu niyam. 4 simple pieces of advice. O mankind, spread salam wherever you go. And feed the hungry wherever you are. And be good to your families. Have good families. And pray at night when everybody is asleep. If you do these 4 things, he promised them a 5th. تَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةَ بِسَلَامٍ. You shall enter Jannah in peace. Each one of these 4 things, even though it is one thing, he mentions one thing by name, in reality it represents a door to an entire chapter. It is symbolic of much more than just that one thing. And our Prophet ﷺ is pointing out the pinnacle of one chapter, the pinnacle or the keys of one door, the keys of another door, the keys of a third, the keys of a fourth, so that we understand that our religion is upon 4 important facets, 4 important pillars. To be a good Muslim, to do something useful in this dunya and the akhirah, you need to have all 4 of these mastered. Number 1, afshu salam. Spread salam. Spread salam has clearly 2 meanings to it. You have the literal meaning, spread peace wherever you go. Wherever you go, don't cause fitna and fasad. Wherever you go, be peaceful, be loving, be compassionate, be kind. Islam is not a religion that is meant to provoke antagonism and hatred and violence. It's not a religion that unfortunately has the stereotype that this country has of our faith. No, that is not the religion of Islam. The first words that come from the mouth of our Prophet ﷺ, spread peace wherever you go. Afshu salam. Don't be troublemakers, fitna mongers. Don't be those who cut off and antagonize. No. Yassiru wa la tu'assiru, bashiru wa la tunaffiru. Make things easy, don't make things difficult. Give good and optimistic tidings. Don't turn people away from you. Yuridullahu bikum al-yusr. Allah wants to make things easy for you. So, afshu salam literally means spread peace. But there is, of course, another meaning which is just as explicit and clear. And that is afshu salam, spread the greetings of salam. Which means, say assalamu alaikum. Wherever you go, say assalamu alaikum. Because as-salam also means as-salam. Say salam wherever you go. Spread salam wherever you go. Now we said every one of these 4 things represents something bigger than it. What does spreading salam imply? Salam and perfecting salam implies perfecting your mu'amala, your akhlaq with other people. Why? Because how do you begin and end every single conversation? Assalamu alaikum, and then, yallah, okay, assalamu alaikum. The beginning and end of every conversation should be with salam. So if we are told to perfect the beginning and end, how about what is going to come in the middle? The key that this door is opening is the key to your akhlaq with other people. Make sure your akhlaq and your manners are good. Also, we need to understand, what does it mean to say spread the salam? What does it mean? Just say salam, 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 that's it? What does it mean when I say assalamu alaikum? When I say assalamu alaikum, what we are saying is, I wish for you ultimate happiness and peace. I want for you that you are never in any harm. Salam is the absence of harm. Salam is the absence of evil. And we say peace, but that's not the technical meaning. As-salam is the absence of hardship, of evil, of antagonism, of hostility. That's what as-salam is. So when I come to you and I say assalamu alaikum, I am saying I want to see you happy. I want to see you in no hardship. If I say this, then I'm also very clearly implying that I will not cause you any harm. How can I say salam to someone and then stab him in the back? How can I say salam to someone, then double cross, then cheat, then lie, then steal, then backbite, then ghiba, then namima? What type of salam is that? That's a hypocritical salam. So when I say assalamu alaikum, I am telling my brother, my sister, you're not going to get anything bad from me. My intentions are pure and I want good for you. Can you imagine a society where everybody said salam and they meant it? Can you imagine a society when anytime you met somebody, you say, I want to see you happy. I wish you the best. And you mean it from your heart. So, afshu salam. When you say salam from the heart and you mean it and you act upon it, what's going to happen? All of society will be a society of salam. It's going to be a society of peace. Afshu salam. Ad-deenu al-mu'amala is one hadith says. This whole religion is summarized in how you deal with other people. And that's what this key of salam means. Number 1. Number 2, وَأَطْعِمُ الطَّعَامِ. Feed food to the hungry. Religion is not just ibadah and coming to the masjid. A person's religiosity is not only the sum of his salah and dhikr. We have a issue in our community where religiosity is only one's rituals in front of Allah. And this hadith should shatter that myth. Religiosity is broader than worship of Allah. The worship of Allah is the backbone. Nobody's denying that. The worship of Allah is indeed the backbone. But to have a full body, you need more than a backbone. To have a full building, you need more than the foundation. And this hadith tells us of 4 foundations for our religion. The first of them was akhlaq. You are not a good Muslim if you have bad akhlaq. You are not a good Muslim if people don't want to be around you because you are stingy, miserly, backbiting, stabbing, double crossing. That's not Islam. Number 2, you want to be a good Muslim. You need to give back to your communities, help those in need. أطعموا الطعام. Give food to the hungry. You cannot be a good Muslim if you don't care about the people around you and their plight, the ummah and what is going on with it. You must have a sense of compassion, and if you have something surplus, share with those who don't have something surplus. وَأَطْعِمُوا الطَّعَامِ. Give food to the hungry. And by emphasizing food, which is the most basic need of humanity, how about more than this? How about a roof over their heads? How about clothing? How about education? How about medicine? The most bare minimum is mentioned to indicate you need to take care of this whole, basically giving back to society. Social work. It is a part of our faith. Don't be selfish. Look around you. And when it comes to feeding food, no ayah or hadith or even scholar of Islam ever linked feeding food with looking at the religion of the one whom you are feeding. No. Food is fed to anyone who needs it. We don't restrict our charity to only those who are Muslim. Yes, zakat is something else, but sadaqah and it'am al-ta'am is open for all, and it must be open for all. In fact, the first commandment that Allah revealed in the Quran after the kalima was not salah, it was not siyam, it was not any ritual. No, before Allah legislated salah, before even it was wajib to pray, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran characteristics of a mu'min. Perhaps the 4th or 5th surah that Allah revealed. And the first characteristic, after of course believing in Allah, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. The believers are those who feed their own food. Even though they need their food, they love their food. عَلَى حُبِّهِ. They love that food, they need it. But they give it to other people. They give it to whom? The miskeen and the yatim and the prisoner. When this verse came down, there were only 5 or 10 Muslims in all of Mecca. None of them was a yatim. None of them was an asir, a prisoner of war. And Allah is telling them, you want to be good Muslims? You feed the prisoner. What prisoner? Doesn't matter the religion. You feed the yatim. No one is going to say, ask the yatim, what is your religion? Then you feed him. A'udhu billah. We feed of our own food to all. Our religion should be the religion of charity and compassion. We should be at the forefront of taking care of the social needs of society. And I say this bluntly, criticizing myself and all of us, that we have failed in this country. We have failed as Muslims to associate our religion with charity and with feeding the homeless and with soup kitchens. There are faith communities smaller than us. There are Christian sects that are much smaller than us. The Methodists, for example, there are fewer Methodists in America than Muslims. I don't know if you guys know this. There are fewer Methodists than Muslims. And yet, the Methodists are known across this country. Good, I'm good for them, I'm not criticizing. They're known for charity and for hospitals and for taking care of things. They're smaller in us quantity-wise, less than 5 million. But they have associated their name brand with charity and hospitals. We keep on boasting 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 people, some say million. And what are we known for? Look at Fox News and they know even it's wrong, but look at what we're associated with. And I'll be honest with you, dear Muslims, if we had followed this prophetic advice, and if we had been at the forefront of being compassionate to the merciful, to the orphans, to the homeless. If we had come and pooled our resources and had a soup kitchen in every community, open and free for all, every Sunday, just have a booth. Every one of us gives some small supplies, $10, $15, every Sunday, free food for anybody who comes. Then if one stupid person amongst us does something crazy, the community knows, you know what? We know these guys. We've seen them for 10, 15, 20 years. If one stupid guy does this, he doesn't represent their faith. But when we don't have the positive, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives, what's going to happen? Do we really blame them? Again, and I'm saying because we don't have the luxury to put our heads in the sand, we have to be critical. We have failed in our prophetic responsibility. Because we have failed, these Fox News people can come and stereotype us. If we had been successful, they couldn't have stereotyped us. We have a vacuum of who we are. So then Fox News can fill that vacuum with negative, with terrorists, with this, with that. And we're still living in our bubble and isolationist lives. Look at us here. I'm being brutally honest. I'm not talking about your community, I'm about American Muslim. All of us. We are primarily isolationists. We're not worried about outside issues. We're only worried about our own internal issues. And that is not the prophetic methodology. Our Prophet ﷺ was at the forefront of his issues of his time frame. And that is why when Iqra came down, and he came back to Khadija, Zammiluni, Dathiruni, Khadija covered him up, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What did Khadija say? Hadith is in Bukhari. La wallahi la yukhzika Allahu abada. Allah is never going to do something to cause you to go astray. You are the best to your family, and you feed the hungry, and you shelter the stranger, and you take care of the orphan, and you help in any cause of help in the city. وَتُعِينُ عَلَى جَمِيعِ نَوَائِبِ الْحَقِّ. She said this before Allah revealed any Quran. She's describing the first 40 years of our Prophet ﷺ. You are involved in social work. You are involved in compassionate causes. You're involved in feeding, in taking care of, in doing. So those 40 years laid the foundations for the next 20 years. It allowed him to preach and teach. Nobody could say to him, who are you? We don't know you. We don't trust you. For us, da'wah is only talking and handing pamphlets. And I say this bluntly, no, that is not da'wah. Ultimate da'wah is in our actions. That's the ultimate da'wah. It's in what we do, not what we say. Anybody can go knock on doors and hand pamphlets out. That's not the real da'wah. That's 1% of da'wah. 99% of da'wah. Show them what is Islam. It'amu ta'am. And by the way, we are not told to feed the hungry because of a PR moment. We don't feed the hungry because we want a Kodak moment and put in the news that, oh, they fed the homeless. No, feeding the hungry is not PR for Islam. Feeding the hungry is Islam. That's the mentality. It's in the Quran. لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله. Feeding the hungry is not PR that we give it to pretend that, no, it is what we're supposed to do because we're Muslims. And yes, one of the perks when we do it, Allah will bless that people will like us. But that's not our goal. Our goal is not that. That is our religion. But we have prioritized other things. And because we prioritize other things, we have failed short. So the second is it'amul ta'am. The third, silul arham. And we said it'amul ta'am means social work. So the first was akhlaq. The second is social work. Get involved. We are responsible for our communities as well. Imagine if Muslims took the forefront of what is happening. You must have issues in your community, whether it's crime, whether it's drug, whether it's bad education, whether it's the healthcare. These are Islamic causes because they affect all of us. Yet we apparently don't care. That's their problem. No, it is our problem. Your children, my children, we live here as well. We should be at the forefront of these causes as well. And when the community says, oh, these people also, they're a part of us. They're not us versus them. We are all together in this. But unfortunately, we have still this mentality of that's not an Islamic cause and whatnot. No, all humanitarian causes are Islamic causes. Number 3, our Prophet ﷺ said that silul arham, be good to your families. Have strong families. Fulfill the ties of kinship. Family is the structure, the building block, the brick of society. Take care of families. You cannot be a good Muslim if your families are not taken care of. You're not a good male if you're not a good husband and a father. You're not a good female if you're not a good mother, if you're not a good wife. All of these have to be there. Prioritize the family. The family is the building block. And these days we see what is happening. The family is being destroyed, disrupted, attacked. And if we allow the family to be disrupted and attacked, society is going to go down. So we as Muslims need to be at the forefront and demonstrate what it means to be a good person, a good father, take care of the kids, a good mother, a good husband, a good wife. All of these have to be demonstrated in our akhlaq. And that's why our Prophet ﷺ said, the best amongst you are those who are the best to their wives, and I am the best to my wives. A good Muslim is a good and loving husband, a good Muslim man. And a good Muslim wife is a good and loving, a lady is a good and loving wife. And if your spouse can testify that this is a good man, that's why our Prophet said, the best amongst you are those who are the best to their wives. If your wife can honestly say, no, he's an honest man, he's a caring man, he's a compassionate man, you can easily fool me. You can easily fool the guy praying next to you. You can easily fool your colleagues even. But you know whom you can't fool? Is your life partner. Your life partner you cannot fool. If your wife can testify that this is a good person, our Prophet is saying, the best of you are those who are the best to their wives. And the other way around, the best wife is the one that the husband can testify. No, she is a God-fearing lady and I know this. So, take care of your families. And then the final point, and time is limited so I have to finish off here. The final point, last, not least, but last on the list is your salah. Religiosity is not just in your salah. It is there. Nobody should say that I'm saying don't. A'udhu billah. Without salah you don't have iman. It is there. But iman and Islam is more than just salah. It comes last on the list. Why? Not because it's the least important, but because it's private between you and Allah. Nobody should go and judge your salah. That's not something you do for the community. But the first three, it's social. The first three, you're doing something. Your akhlaq, your social services, your family. These are public service announcements. Everybody's going to see it. The last one between you and Allah, and you keep it between you and Allah. Don't put it on Facebook, you're praying tahajjud. That's between you and Allah. Leave it there. And pray at night when everybody is asleep. Why did he talk about tahajjud? Because obviously, what I told you at the beginning, those that come late, I said at the beginning, each one of these four things is the key to open up a much larger door. And this demonstrates it. He didn't say pray a regular salah. He's going to the pinnacle, which is tahajjud. Because when you pray tahajjud, you're automatically praying all of the salawat, right? As I said, and then when you're praying salawat, you're doing dhikr, you're reading Quran. So it's like a door that opens up an entire chapter behind it. Each one of these four things. It's not just those things. And for those that came later, again, the summary was that the hadith is the famous hadith of Abdullah ibn Salam. And with this we concluded, it's called the hadith of peace, the hadith of Salam. Why? Because it is narrated by Abdullah ibn Salam, and it begins with Salam, and it ends with Salam. So it is the hadith of Salam. And Abdullah ibn Salam radiallahu anhu, Abdullah ibn Salam narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, أفشوا السلام وأطعموا الطعام وصلوا الأرحام وصلوا بالليل والناس نيام تدخلون الجنة بسلام. 5 simple wordings, 4 commandments and 1 promise if you do those commandments. Spread salam wherever you go. Spread the peace and the greetings of peace wherever you go. And feed the people food wherever you go. And be good to your families. And pray at night when everybody is asleep. If you can do these 4 things, I guarantee you that you shall enter Jannah in peace. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who enter Jannah in peace. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.